thing, this just proves that these observations, we shouldn't put too much faith in them because it could be wrong. There's a lot of things that like we've only gotten into perspective.
Hallways are very misleading things. You never know what you're gonna see at the end of a hallway, right?
It's true, Branch. Hey,
unless you have a mirror down there.
Without Lemon jumping in, and before Stiggy, because what's up, Stiggy, is cool. But before anybody else jumps in, I want to see Jeremy, what his explanation is for because I know you've seen the gift where the ship is going over the horizon and it's smokestacks. The only things left. What is your explanation for why this observation is not valid? What argument goes against?
Kocho, way to take over the conversation, bro.
I'm trying to take over the conversation. I'm trying to manage it. It's going in 8 different directions.
I mean, I don't have an explanation for why, because I don't want to start presupposing shit. I could presuppose and speculate on a lot of stuff, but the fact is, I think this whole we've been talking about this for 2 or 3 hours now, and I think that proves that we shouldn't take these observations too heavily. So that's all.
Agree. I think that hallways can be very misleading.
Very true. And Stiggy was trying to offer some new information. Stiggy, what were you saying?
Go ahead, Stiggy.
Oh no, I just came in to see y'all talking about it, and I didn't have anything to add. I didn't know what you were referring.
Well, if we left,
have you ever looked at a hallway?
I'm very excited.
I'm sorry. Can you stop over talking to me, please, Coach? Have you ever gone down a hallway, Stiggy, and just been confused? Because perspective gets all fucked up.
Yeah, I looked down the hallway once. It was so long, I thought it was going downstairs because it looked like it was going down.
So you went down a hallway, and you thought you were going down a stairs.
Well, no. Yeah, when I looked down the hallway, it was so far that I was like, is this going down, or is it just perceiving as it's going down?
Yeah, I don't think anybody, except for maybe yourself, has ever gone down a hallway and thought they were going downstairs.
Interesting.
No. It looked like it from the distance, from a far distance. I was like, wow, it's so far away.
I've seen that. I agree with Stiggy.
Stiggy, are you talking about the part above your eye level appearing to ramp downward, or what?
Yes. It's like, wow, it's so far. This hallway is so long that I could swear it appears that things might be going down in the distance, but it's not. It's just an illusion.
Yeah, I
What
don't
about
think
the bottom part of your vision from your eye level down? What did it look like the ground was doing? Did it look like it was ramping up, or what?
A little bit, yeah. It looked like there was.
Lemon,
like
when you
ramping
look,
up and some.
I'm sorry.
No, go for it, please.
No, I am sorry. I always stop if there's a conflict between voices. It's just an accident. I'm really sorry.
Oh, that's just your education, huh? That was your
no, it's just me.
Brenda.
It's just me.
No worries, Brenda. Just have something to say.
It's just
Brenda's
me.
here now.
I just try not to. I just try, and this goes for both Globers and flat earthers. If we interrupt each other, I stop talking. That's what you're supposed to do.
And Democrats and Republicans too,
But I want to hear what you have to say, Glober or Flat. Did you have anything else to say?
Oh yeah,
Stiggy,
I think that. See, worked the same way.
I'm sorry.
Stiggy.
Holy fucking moly! Shut the fuck up and let Brenda go. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well. Okay, is somebody talking? Is somebody talking right now?
It's fine.
Brenda was asked
to. I'm going to continue.
So, like I said, someone's asked
Go
a
ahead,
question,
Brenda.
point to let them answer.
Hey, Brenda, go ahead.
Brenda's going to belly flop on this. Go ahead, belly flop on this.
No, I'm just laughing because it's a comedy of like, you first, no, you first, no, you first, no, you first. I think that
you don't want to go first. I'm going to talk.
Ranch, you're doing it right now. Stop. She's in the middle of her sentence. Come on. Shut up. Everybody shut up. Go, Brenda. Please, just go. Please.
I think that there are almost no people on Earth who, when going down a hallway, think they're going downstairs.
No. I'm not saying I think I'm going downstairs currently, but as I look down the hallway, I'm thinking, wow, it's so long. It's just a perception of, is that going, am I, is the,
Well, sure, but there's
it's a
nobody.
perception, not,
Yeah, there's nobody on Earth except for just a handful of people who, when they perceive a long hallway, think that the floor is going down.
well, they haven't been down this hallway.
Or even going up. Nobody thinks that. Nobody thinks
Well,
that.
hold on a second, because at the end of this hallway, there was a staircase, so I was right.
No, that's not being right. That's not being right.
Yeah, there was a staircase at the end of the hallway.
No,
There you go.
if you think that the hallway is in any way a ramp going up or down, and then you come to the end of it, and then you come to an end of it, and there's a stairway, that's not you being correct.
Brenda, Branch said to me, have you ever been in a hallway? And I'm recollecting, I'm going through, racking my brain of when the last time I was in a hallway. And I'm imagining it very fluidly. It was in Palm Springs. It was one of the longest hallways I've been in, probably in my adult life. Child life, I don't remember certain hallways, but I could have been taken to a hallway that was longer. And when I first arrived in this hallway, I looked down and I thought to myself, wow, it looks like there's stairs at the end. There has to be, like, it's the way I'm looking at it. And then I go all the way. I walked a reverent pace, not to disturb any of the guests on my sides. And lo and behold, there was a staircase, just like I said, at the end of the hallway, which is what I was referring to.
Oh, so you looked down a hallway and you said to yourself, the hallway is straight and flat, but there's a stairway at the end. That's what you thought?
Yeah, I was just saying, wow, this hallway is so long. I said, I think it looks like there's a staircase at the very end. And then you came in.
I've had that too. Like,
yeah,
a very long hallway, and sometimes it gets confusing because it would appear like there's a stairway at the bottom, even if there isn't.
That is correct.
I don't think anybody's ever seen that. I've never seen that.
I think he's talking about how it ramps up and down.
Yeah, nobody thinks the way you think, Lemon. There's a small number of people in the world who think that your field of vision ramps up and down. Nobody thinks that.
Well,
Come into my
Brenda,
brain, Brenda. There's lots of stuff there to share with all of these flat earthers and globers. Come into my brain and see what I see.
No,
Well,
thank you.
Brenda,
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Brenda.
I would rather
come in,
drop a
Brenda.
tab of acid. Thank you very much.
that probably would help you. That would probably help you.
It sounds to me like Stiggy and myself both agree with Lemon.
Yeah,
That-
I mean, I remember being in-
I agree too, because I remember one time I was in this university, it had this super long hallway, and I just started walking and walking and walking down the hallway, and at one point I was sure that I was walking downstairs, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this stairwell is so long. And then my wife was like, no, we're still in the hallway, and I was like, no, it's just, we're going downstairs. It was
My
weird.
daughter's pretty sure you were having a stroke with that.
Can I
That's
just
great.
a ramp?
That's fantastic.
A ramp is just a smooth set of stairs. Okay, it's the same thing. You can say a ramp is a set of stairs if you want to. It's just smoothed out.
I've never thought that ramps were stairways. I've never thought.
Well,
that.
they are, but smooth.
I've never
They're
thought.
they're filled in stairs.
No,
They're just
I've
filled in
never.
stairs.
I've never thought that ramps were filled in stairs or they were in any way a stairway. I've never thought that.
Well, when I first saw a ramp,
Absolutely, they're wheelchair accessible stairs essentially.
exactly. Thank you. They're filled in stairs.
And a
Filled in
slide
stairs.
is a
I-
really steep stairway, like a really, really steep stairway is a slide.
I 100%
And
agree.
you know what I find is the longer the corridor, the steeper the stairs seem to be.
I was at the water park and I was like,
Yeah, you
holy
could-
cow, you guys have some of the steepest stairs I've ever slid down.
Yeah, you
Some would
could. You
argue
could.
that elevators are the steepest stairs of all.
So Branch, you've thought this, and you've thought that, holy shit, if I slip and fall down in the hallway here, I could slide.
I did slip. I did slip.
Yeah, and I could slide all the way to the end. I could slide to the end. Yeah, that's
no.
that's
Someone said, hold on.
Yeah.
Someone said,
yeah, that happens.
someone said slide
yeah,
down.
That
If
makes
someone
sense.
said slide down these stairs, someone said slide down these stairs. I'd say fill in these slots or give me a rail. You know, I'm not going to slide down. I mean, you know what I mean? I want some filled in stairs if I'm going to slide.
Yeah, the stairs, absolutely. A ramp is just filled in stairs, absolutely.
Right. And I actually
Not
did
at
slip,
all.
Brenda.
No.
Brenda, I did slip, and I
Well,
hurt
it's
my back.
over.
I hurt my back real bad.
Okay, so stairs are not a ramp, right? Stairs are platforms of even length, right, Jeremy?
Hold on. Stairs are ramps with notches cut out of them.
You throw a piece of plywood on there, it's a ramp.
Right,
Yeah,
but
stairs are
that
just
means
ramps.
you're altering the system, right?
Stairs are ramps with notches cut out of the ramp.
No, stairs are
90
just
degree.
floating platforms with support.
Well, you could say they're flat ramps and they're vertical ramps.
Well, I can make a floating ramp, so what?
Hey, Lemon.
Dumbest conversation I've ever heard.
You know, I once,
Stairs
you know, Branch, I once came
Jeremy,
across.
how about this? Do stairs reduce the amount of work needed for a system? Or increase the amount of work needed?
Do you think you're really going to win this?
Yeah.
A wall.
Jeremy.
A wall
Hey,
is just a vertical ramp.
Yeah, it is. Jeremy, I once came out of a stairwell at the end of a very long hallway, and there was this guy crawling on the floor, and he told me that he was climbing up the ramp.
Wait, was that me?
I mean,
Was he doing the
depends on the
worm?
angle.
Was he doing the worm?
Yeah,
It depends on the angle of the ramp.
He was exhausted. He was exhausted because it ramps up
That
so high.
might have been me. That might have been me, Brenda.
It depends on the angle of the ramp, how steep your stair/ramp case will be.
Well, that's called the angle of attack.
All right.
Here, guys.
Yeah, because to me, it's like if I was on a hallway and it was the longest hallway imaginable that you can see, and someone says, yeah, this hallway, you can't see that far because it's perspective. But then if we increase the hallway length, then it starts getting curved. No, I think it's still perspective.
Well, the thing is, Brenda can help us illustrate this concept with perspective and stuff, vanishing down to a speck. With, you know, like, say an object that's vanishing down to a speck due to angular resolution, say it's a block. Now, if you put one of those ladders or ramps or planes on the top and bottom of that, you know, cube, you're going to have ladders and ramps that are going to ramp out into the distance and go in a certain direction depending on which way the cube is oriented and which direction it's going. So if it's going parallel to the eyes, those ramps on the top and bottom of that cube are going to converge to a point along with that cube and tend to merge, just like with the planes of vision that we see due to perspective. It's the same principle.
Yeah.
I totally see your point.
Yeah, the problem is how you squeeze out of the cube at the end. I mean, because it's gotten so small.
Yeah.
No, it's about the stairs.
Well, if you line up infinite cubes with, you know, those ladders or ramps glued to the top and bottom of those cubes, left to right, you just have a plane that's converging. You know, they're going to merge into one, you know, plane, top and bottom, with these cubes. That's going to converge into a line infinitely in the distance.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Convergence is incredible. I love how the horizon and then the light just all compresses, the perspective compresses. It just, as you lower in altitude, you see smaller, less and less. It compresses and compresses. It's incredible. It's fascinating how we get to see our reality with our eyes and stuff.
See, we're doing, this is really groundbreaking science we're doing here. We're doing science.
Well, we're just doing logical deduction that makes intuitive sense.
Brenda,
see that
I'm happy
beam I
that
posted?
you
Is that-
see the same way we
Is
do.
that just smooth stairs? A beam?
Smooth.
I didn't hear.
Filled in stairs.
I just want to understand the level of what agreement, right? So I just posted the picture again. Is that object just smooth, filled in stairs?
Smooth. We all agree. Ramps are just stairs that
Looks
are
like a
filled in.
giant
Stairs-
dildo to me. I don't know about you guys.
And
Right,
stairs
but this
are
is just a curved, Jeremy, these are curved ramps, which mean that these are curved, filled in stairs, right?
But I think
Right.
Lemon
Yeah,
Bird could
yeah, I
keystert
agree.
because he
Okay.
seems like he'd be very talented.
Perfect.
It's the same.
I agree.
Look,
Those are curved filled-in stairs. That's a curved filled-in.
it's the same analogy. It's the same analogy as a bag is a hard box. A box is a soft bag, or a box is a hard bag. A bag is a soft box.
That's a great analogy. It's a great analogy.
And exactly. Thank you for understanding. See, a smoothie is a cold soup, and a soup is a hot smoothie.
Well, a cereal, milk and cereal is a soup. Technically, it's a soup.
So, guys, I just think we debunked flat Earth because the Earth, right, is just a curved, flat piece, which we already said makes sense.
Oh, that worked. It's all over now, guys. Lemon, pack it up.
Well, the thing is, it's based off of a general layout. That's the thing. The general layout.
I wouldn't go as far as to say we debunk flat Earth.
There's definite
I'm sorry,
curves
guys.
on the Earth. But
Flat Earth, that's a little
far-fetched on a scooter.
We're talking about perspective today and ramps. Let's stick on topic, all right? We're not debunking flat Earth for this shit.
The main thing is we've learned that things converge at the eye level, more or less, of the observer, implying a flat plane relative to the behavior of looking down a hallway.
He says we learned, he means he stated, and literally everybody disagreed with him.
All you have to do to debunk flat Earth is just prove the globe. That's all. This whole thing will be over.
No, it won't be over because that's not why you're here.
Prove the globe.
You're
be over
here
because you can't prove the
in
globe.
light of every imaginable fact and observation. You're still here. You're here because we want to deny this shit.
We've been talking for 4 hours about the observations. Clearly, we have issues with observations.
You have issues.
So we all do. I mean, no one
It all depends, Jeremy, on how close you can get your eye to the floor.
I mean, yeah, our eyeball is on the floor essentially in the Earth, in the flat Earth scenario.
Yeah. So to do the proper observation, you have to get down on your belly, and get your eye right next to the floor.
No, we've already went over this. There won't be any observations because they're flimsy at best.
Observations,
illusions, refraction, perspective.
And that's it. We've been over this. Bullshit is just bullshit, just as it was when you started back then.
Well, I'm looking at a drink with a cap on it, and I'm looking at the cap in particular and thinking about that ramp example that I talked about with putting the ramp on the top and bottom of the cube. If you put the ramp on the bottom of this cap, you'd see it, ramp up and down with perspective, but depending on how narrow that angle is that you view at the cap, it could, be a ramping that's gentle, and more or less straight, or, if you raise it up, you can see more of the cap, like it's at a steeper, more inclined angle.
I think
so
that's
basically
true.
looking over a flat surface, if you're slightly above the surface, like let's say a micron below this cap surface, you could be looking out over a very flat plane that could keep going, but it will narrow to a horizon point very, very, slowly and imperceptibly. So it could still be the same thing. It's just the angle that, you're viewing the surface at and how close you are to the surface, really, that determines the rate at which it ramps up towards your eye level. But it could still be a flat surface.
Yeah, I like a gentle ramping once in a while myself. Yeah. Although,
definitely.
definitely. And rough, I don't know, rough ramps are okay, though. Just once in a while, not that often.
Well, rough ramps are... Sorry, go ahead.
It's like that chessboard you were talking about, Jeremy.
Yes, you put your eye close enough to the chessboard, and the squares will... you won't be able to make out a specific square. It's obstruction without physicality, basically. Like they it can happen. Obstruction without physicality. A physical blocking of the line of sight.
Definitely. It just depends on how high you are off the surface. So I think what's happened here is the Globers have applied the principles of perspective, possibly somewhat incorrectly.
Is that what you think has been going on?
For
I mean, we've
500
been talking
years.
for, I'll tell you what hasn't been going on. We've been talking for 4 hours. You haven't proven the globe. That's what just happened. That just happened.
Well,
I don't think we haven't proven the globe. I think for 4 hours you were spewing all kinds of imaginable bullshit just to try to deny it. That's
The globe is an illusion.
I've only been here a couple of minutes, so I don't think I can't speak to the 4 hours before this, but for the time that I've been here, I haven't noticed anybody trying to prove the globe. They've been doing something
Exactly.
else. Right. They've been doing
Exactly.
something.
This started. How do you think this started, Brenda? With them trying to prove the globe.
Well,
and now
what I've seen is people just talking about hallways. So I don't know what that has to do with the curve of the Earth.
Brenda, trust me. This started with them trying
down that path, and then, since then, all y'all have been falling down Sticky, who's not even here anymore. Path, this hallway.
You did enjoy this conversation, though, did you not?
Yes, Branch, I did. I did enjoy myself. It was quite fun.
It was funny. It was fun.
Absolutely.
Right, we gotta have fun with flat Earth. We can't just fucking all the time just be all about whether or not the Earth is flat or not. We gotta be able to fucking branch out sometimes.
Yes, but these are serious issues because hallways can be confusing. Right, Branch?
Well, the thing is,
nothing confusing.
Hallways can be confusing. Hallways can be disorienting.
Especially, yeah, very disorientating. Especially when you think there's stairs at the bottom of them.
Well, I mean, it could be a hallway with an incline. It could be a hallway with a decline. You could have a hallway where the ceilings are 100 foot tall. I mean, there's all kinds of hallways that,
Right.
could visually give you a good fooling.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. The hallways are just mind-boggling. I just don't understand.
I mean, I wouldn't say your average everyday hallway is mind-boggling, but.
Right, and when we really want to discuss whether or not a hallway is going to prove flat Earth or not, we really got to consider what type of hallway we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. For the analogy, yeah.
well, if you take the cap off of this latte and, put it above you, but kind of put it close to your eye level, you'll see the underside of it, but it'll be a very kind of gentle angle that you see a little bit of the cap, but not a whole lot. But if you raise it up above you, you can see the whole underside of the cap, which would be like the sun, maintaining its angular size because it's up and far away at a higher angle relative to your eye level. At eye level would tend to be very narrow and hard to see, very narrow and almost angular resolution.
So the underside of a cup of latte coffee is like the sun.
Yes, at a nice wide angle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
nice
great.
angle.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
So interesting how when you move it further away
right?
from you, it becomes less and less circular. The sun doesn't do that.
I'll actually have to bring
There's
that up.
from India where it does that with a solar filter, so maybe it is a disc.
We're gonna get serious again now.
Just
Yeah,
saying.
Cool.
Where
do you want to take
everyone's
us,
about
Branch?
to get serious again.
Branch,
This
why
is
don't you
debate
take us?
dojo.
Take us wherever you want, Branch.
I think I saw Brian Peck light up.
Well, I kind of feel like
Brian was.
it needs to get serious for a second. I mean, I would say let's do it for 30 minutes and then let's get back to being silly again.
Well, Branch, it's better if you're just a comedy relief who pops up every now and then, but you don't have to make we don't have to have 15-minute conversations about hallways.
All I was actually
the
contributing
hallway-
with this. Okay, go ahead, Jeremy.
Sorry, the hallway conversation started off as a good conversation, though. Okay, Brian,
Sure.
go.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah, that's actually interesting. I said in that case, the sun should change shape, and someone else said it at the same time, so it's already been covered.
Yeah,
What about the
hallway thing the hallway thing was serious.
You're roboting, Jeremy.
I think Stiggy made the best points.
Oh well,
The rest
actually,
of you-
Jeremy,
Yeah.
Jeremy, the hallway thing was never serious. It was never serious.
Brenda, please.
It wasn't.
It was. I don't think you were here for it. You might not have been here when it started.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we talk again about the question I asked you that you didn't have an answer for, but you said that the last 3 hours, you said the last 4 hours, we've been talking about observations, and because of that, it's been proven wrong. But I gave you an observation that doesn't have an explanation from you guys. And then the ship that goes over the horizon, you see it disappearing, and then you see its smokestacks. How is this explained in your idea of how the world works?
So we just spent 4 hours talking about how observations can fool us, and now you want me to explain an observation?
Did you listen to literally nothing that was talked about in those hours?
I heard everything you said. Yes, I've been listening the whole time. Of course.
Okay, because
I'm
coming
at
to the
work, I have
conclusion
nothing else to do.
that the whole conversation was that observations can fool us is ignoring 98% of the conversation, except for the words you said, because your contribution was that observations can fool us.
No, that whole conversation was about you guys trying to defend the fact that they couldn't fool us. Or it's within the margin of error or something.
Yes, and that we can account for errors and we can account for influences on observations.
No, you ain't. You're not doing. Let me see the math for perspective mixed with refraction.
Oh,
Sure,
let me
refraction,
see
you
the
for the
map so I
fucking
can
millionth
deny
time.
it
Give me a
once
minute.
again from Jeremy.
Other
That is
refraction
not
or
true.
perspective come into play when you're talking about that ship, man. That's why I said that's why ships are used. That's the reason I brought up that ship. I even prefaced that. I said the reason why we use objects like that is because we're not limited by the same things that cause errors like refraction or angular size or anything like that when we're talking about that observation.
But
Did Jeremy
the thing
really
is,
say show me the
The ship
map?
is.
Did you really say that, Jeremy?
The ship is showing an angular size. The ship is
Jeremy, get out of the damn
showing
boiler
angular- I
room.
don't
We can't
understand.
hear you now.
You're roboting, and then it clears up for a
Right.
while,
Bye,
and then you robot again, and then it clears up, and then you robot.
It's a W.
Is there any point talking to Jeremy about this, listening to his conclusions?
Well, the fact that you guys talked to him for 4 hours and understood absolutely nothing that you said, I think kind of justifies the last 5 minutes that I've been in here, which is simply to mock and ridicule him because he's a fucking idiot.
well, the thing is, Brenda, refraction only covers whether the light would reach the eye, but angular resolution says that light that reaches your eye is not interpreted if it's beyond a certain angle when focused on the optics. So unfortunately, it doesn't appear that
Where do you
refraction
get this
doesn't make-
nonsense from,
Doesn't
Lemon?
make any sense.
Resolution,
That isn't how
whether or not
that
the
isn't how
is
light works.
interpreted as an image by the eye.
Yeah, that nothing about that is how anything works at all, Lemon. You have no idea.
We'll
This is
have
just
to repeat it again.
Well, you can repeat it.
Refraction would cover whether the light would
on the
reach
you can
eye.
repeat it, but it won't
but
make any
not
more sense
be
because it's
interpreted by the optic as a 2D image with angular resolution rules, saying that when the light is too crowded, no 2D image. So until you have a refraction model that takes into account angular resolution, we have a problem here over the flat.
Lemon, the observation that I asked about has nothing to do with refraction. Refraction does not depend on your eyes. There's so many points you just said that
So
don't.
how do you-
So just please focus on my question to Jeremy if you're going to try to answer it, okay? Because you bring up that in this observation, perspective and refraction are not relevant.
But the thing
That's
is, how do you
absurd.
know that the image isn't being interpreted because of angular resolution limitations, as opposed to a globe hump of Earth curvature blocking the image? Because if there is no hump of Earth curvature blocking the image, your refraction models where light curves become unnecessary and incorrect on a certain level where it has to curve over a ball to reach the eye. With angular resolution, the only thing that you would need to do is amplify the angle of the light and make it wide enough on the optic to be interpreted as a 2D image. So which is it, Kosho? Is it refracting over a ball, or is it opening up the angle enough for you to form a 2D image on the optic?
Yeah,
refraction is not relevant to it, and the angular resolution, you can tell by the fact that you can see individual windows when the bottom of the building is already gone, telling you that for some reason the windows are the windows are big enough to not be they're not shrink their angular size to the point of being not resolute in your eye, but the bottom of the ship isn't. So
what if you go? Hold
those
on.
contradict each
Hold
other.
on. What if you go from? Sorry. What if you go from the windows to the walls?
The sweat drop down these balls.
Oh my god.
Right. Exactly.
Getting serious again, Koso, angular resolution is read from the eye level up and down, because that's the limiting factor if you're only 6 feet off of the flat plane. For the object that's sticking up out of the flat plane,
Lemon does make a great point. That would be the limiting
relative to the eye level of the observer, not relative to the object itself. You're reading angular resolution from the wrong point.
It's not a great point, Branch. So it doesn't go from up and down. It goes from 360 degrees inward. That's how objects shrink in distance. They don't shrink from up to down. They shrink from all directions to inward. That's the directions in which they shrink.
So that's great. You have to talk about the point. You have to talk about the point where the object converges toward. And over a flat plane, it would be at eye level. So now you have a great point relative to angular resolution at eye level.
And why does this not cause things to flatten?
It does at the horizon.
It doesn't. It doesn't anywhere. It's not witnessed by anybody.
At the horizon, it does.
It doesn't anywhere, Branch. Don't keep doing that. The objects are missing where the building is. So the object, the bottom of the building is missing. Before it's missing, it doesn't flatten and condense or anything like that. There's no flattening happening.
It sets into the horizon. For all intents and purposes,
hold on.
Kosho.
Hold on. They say flattening is happening, Kosho. What are you talking about?
Who says that?
Doesn't the horizon get flattened?
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
See, that's what I mean with you guys.
No, it was an accident. I'm sorry.
I wasn't talking about you talking over me. I'm talking about Kosho saying flattening doesn't happen.
Kosho pointed out to you that the buildings or the mountains or the ships are used because you can see the top parts of them clear. If they were flattening, you would see a gradual flattening. The lower part of the ship, which has not yet disappeared, would be compressed. But
did you guys not say that the horizon is flattening? Did you guys not this?
In what context? Yeah, in what context do you mean when you say that?
You guys not say the horizon looks
we
flat?
Do say that
flattening effect.
We do say robots.
Yeah, go ahead, Brian.
So you guys have been doing this.
All right. Well, Lemon, maybe you can explain what Jeremy's talking about with the flattening of the horizon.
No, please, no.
Check.
Please, no.
Am I good?
The basic is.
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now, Jeremy. But yeah, would you go on? Because your criticism is that the horizon flattens.
Yeah, you guys say that the horizon looks flat because of this flattening effect.
What the hell are you talking about?
I'm sure anybody says that, Jeremy. So why don't you just forget it?
None of you guys have ever said that. This is why the horizon looks flat because
people say the horizon looks flat because the Earth is huge, not because it's something distinguished in our vision.
It's in Walter Bislin's or Mick West or something. One of them guys' thing.
Literally never heard anyone say that.
Yeah, I've heard
Walter Bislin or Mick West not here, so just forget you heard it.
Forget it. My bad.
Forget you heard it.
Yeah.
The truth is, objects
There's
do
an
not
L
flatten.
to Jeremy. No, take down that L that Jeremy just accumulated. Okay.
What owl are we talking about? Are we talking about a big feathery owl?
We're talking for 4 hours to
I said
people
L.
who are in the psychiatric ward, right? Who cannot understand even how
what does that say
work.
about you for talking to people in the
There you go.
psychiatric ward?
That's a fair point.
Brenda is first Ratchet trying to exert heliocentric control over the inmates and using any wile and deception to do so.
Speaking of, have you actually
What
watched
did you
that?
think of that big shiny dildo that Brain posted?
What?
Actually, it's
Come on, did that cause a little tickle somewhere?
actually.
Brian, you were saying something? Oh, sorry, Brian Pecker.
I'm
whatever.
familiar with that sculpture. It's actually called the bean. It's in the shape of a like a bean, and it's actually pretty interesting because of all the reflections. It's visually kind of appealing to people.
I was just going to ask if if Lemon had watched the new show on Netflix, Ratchet, because it seems like that's a very topical thing to bring up at this point.
I've heard that it's pretty interesting. I haven't seen any episodes yet, though.
My wife was watching that. It looked all right.
Very
It's based
strange.
off of a movie.
Jeremy, how do you have a significant other?
How do I have what?
Come on, man. Come on.
He's swinging the whole pipe. Who cares how he got a wife? Just let him have a wife.
Everyone has a soulmate, dude. Come on.
I don't.
Even Jeremy.
What's
No,
Ratchet
I know the
about?
Earth is round.
He's out. Smooth. He's out there somewhere. You just gotta find him.
Yeah. Got him.
I keep going to gay bars, but he's just not there.
Hey, Lemon.
Someday your prince will come. Don't worry.
What do you got to get
Bars
on
are
the
actually
grinder?
Coolest places to
Grinder.
party.
Lemon, I'm curious because I don't know the answer, but you seem like you do know the answer. If say I'm just like standing at like a beach on the ocean or something, if I blow up a large balloon, or okay, if I fill like a large balloon with helium or something, and I let it go right above me so it floats up into the sky. How will the angular resolution of that balloon? How will it escape my? How will it diminish in my angular resolution compared to taking that same balloon and just like shipping it out on the water horizontally away from me? Will it reduce in size the same way or a different way in angular resolution?
It'll be slightly different.
Like how so? Can you be very specific on the details about how it'll be different?
When something goes away from you, it's like two things are in competition. The object is trying to vanish into itself, but if it's a really tall object and it's going parallel to where you're looking, it will tend to go and converge parallel to where you're looking into your eye, in this case, your center of vision. So it's going to tend to go towards the center of your vision since you're looking up, but looking out over the flat plane, you have a flat plane beneath your feet, also competing and ramping up into your vision. So if it's really tall, it's going to tend to set into the horizon,
Right.
but if it's short, it'll disappear before reaching the horizon potentially. So you have the two things going on, disappearing into itself.
So their angular
disappearing
size
into the horizon if it's going parallel to the horizon and you're looking parallel to the horizon.
So the angular size of the same balloon, this just big balloon that was blown up, the angular size, the resolution of it diminishes in different ways, whether it's vertically moving away from you or horizontally. How come there's not like how come there's no observations of this difference?
Well, the thing is, the main thing is you have to have equal room on all sides. As it goes up into the air, yes. You have equal room on all sides, yes. So it will disappear up to a spec if you take your center vision, look up into the air, and the balloon goes off infinitely off into the air. Yes, that will happen going up into the air. But going parallel to the flat plane, you don't have equal room relative to your eye level, because make that balloon like a big 100-foot balloon, like a 100-foot building, sticking up out of the flat plane. There's only 6 feet of that balloon below your eye level.
But I'm just talking about a big balloon. Don't
But it has to be
transform it
that
into a
size
building.
to illustrate how
Just
much
a
of
big
it is
balloon.
above your eye level and below your eye level over the flat plane, to show how it doesn't have equal room on all sides anymore. That 6-foot zone below your eye level and an equal symmetrical zone above your eye level will converge into a horizon line first, and then the rest of that balloon will have to set beyond over the flat plane.
Yeah, so don't
Okay.
ever
I understand better now.
yeah, don't ever criticize me again for comparing this to a closed psych ward. That's exactly what this is, and that's exactly what
I
we just
understand much better
that's
now.
exactly what you
I
just heard.
understand much better, Lemon.
Well, Nurse
Thank you for
Ratchet,
the great explanation.
oh, no problem. Nurse Ratchet and I, this is like a debate dojo. I'm glad to spar with Nurse Ratchet. She helps keep my game up, keep my game strong, and help my explanations to make a bit more sense.
It helps you, Lemon, to think of it that way when it's
Lemon, is Nurse Hatchet hot? She sounds hot.
The old 70s version, she's more homely. The new one is actually homelier. I'll stop. I'll put some pictures in the chat.
All right, cool.
I don't think it's the type of nurse you're picturing, Branch.
Oh, it sounded hot to me, Nurse Ratchet. Hey man, try and lighten up the mood a little bit, you know.
Yeah. So the idea.
So I mean, Kosho, I can't explain. Go ahead, Brenda.
Right. So the idea that that in being surprised that after 4 hours of this, you haven't gotten anywhere. It's ridiculous, because you just have to.
Well, Brenda, here's the thing. It's not just 4 hours. It's like 4 years of this shit. No one.
Yeah, and you can come back in another 4
So
or 5 years.
How do you expect to get somewhere in 4 hours if you haven't got anywhere in 4 years?
Yeah, you're not going to. It's either entertainment or it's some other purpose. But
right. So you may as well have fun while you're doing it, right?
Yeah. So you're not going to change people who are this mentally ill.
Of course not.
See, now that's cold, Brenda. Why am I mentally ill, do you think?
Because we spent 4 hours on, and you can't.
Insanity, Jeremy. Inability to tell fiction from reality.
Yeah, you can't
the
understand
is you guys
how
might have a communist hatred for people who leave
so the answer
plantation.
I was asked a question, and the answer is because you can't understand how hallways work. That's why.
I explained it.
Brandon, what you don't get is that you are like Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie The Shutter Island.
Hold on. I was explaining perfectly how this hallway worked before I turned into a shit show. So don't you got in late, Brenda. You got in late.
That's one of my favorite fucking movies, Coach.
Say again, Mr. Brand.
It's one of my favorite fucking movies, bro.
It's not one of my favorite movies, but it's a good.
So I'm kind of thinking
I like
that.
I don't know. That's one of his best.
So I'm kind of thinking that maybe if I just lay the cards out on the table and say what in fact everybody realizes is that flat earthers are either personality disorders, the mentally ill, and the mentally incompetent, and that's what flat Earth is.
That's not.
Left out a group there, Brenda.
I think that's true. Flat Earth.
But you left out a group.
Flat
though.
Earth.
See, the one.
I wouldn't say that.
Flat Earth.
I wouldn't say that, Brenda. I would say that they just want to be part of a group.
It's not just
they want to be part of. They want to be part of a clique.
Why? I could come in here and talk to you guys if I wasn't a flat earther. So what? This has nothing to do with it.
But you're part of Jeremy. You're part of this clique because you're a flat earther.
Why? I would be part of this clique if I wasn't.
I'm gonna put it out there. You guys are psychoanalysing Jeremy way too much. Man.
I agree.
Just get back to the conversation. There's no reason to get
but the reason for doing it though is that these people recently may have been making death threats.
Okay, well, has Jeremy ever been a death threat?
No,
not.
These people doesn't necessarily include Jeremy. These people include.
Has Jeremy made a death threat?
I'm not talking about Jeremy when I say these people. I'm talking about.
But you're talking to Jeremy right now, and you're getting in depth on his brain instead of the conversation that's taking place.
No, I'm
it's
talking
just not
about
fair, man. Jeremy doesn't deserve this type
I'm
of
talking
treatment.
specifically.
Yeah, Tommy, it's a stereotype. Tommy, it's a stereotype fallacy.
I know exactly.
I'm talking
It's a
specifically.
stereotype fallacy.
I'm talking specifically about the death threats that were made against Craig of Fight the Flat Earth just a couple days ago, and it was in response to Nathan. It was in response to Nathan Oakley call for violence against Globers.
And who made the death threat against Fight the Flat Earth?
Nathan said we need violence against Globers. That's what Nathan Oakley said.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's Nathan Oakley. He hits his kid. But who did who made a death threat against Fight the Flat Earth? Because that's not you said it yourself. That's a specific incident, but you're making a general when you say you got people or whatever.
Well, let's hear the audio clip. Which show was it on a show or what?
Who made the death threat specifically? Yeah.
It was in McToon's most recent hangout where they had Craig was in there pretending to be Batman, and the guy they had in there was the person who had left a message on Craig's Discord that he was going to put a bullet in him.
Is that too spiky?
But is that really a death threat, though, Brenda? Or is it
Yes, it's a death threat. That is a death threat, Brand, and that's also not relevant because that's a specific person. Like it's like with one guy, if a black guy does something, says something to somebody, that doesn't mean that all black people are accountable for that. And if one flat earth said something to Fight the Flat Earth, that's not all flat earthers doing that.
Brenda tried to commit a stereotype. Hold on. Brenda tried to commit a stereotype fallacy on me just now. That's what just happened for everyone watching.
So it was that you, Jeremy, are not threatening anyone. How the fuck is that a stereotype?
So it was
let's discuss.
So it was
stereotype of fucking.
I didn't stereotype.
Jeremy.
Branch, hold on. Was it Brenda defend herself?
So it was
Brenda's a homosexual transvestite nymphomaniac. What do you want? What else?
So
nice, bro.
those kinds of responses are why I don't feel like I'm overstepping anything when I make accusations against flat earthers. So as long as you keep doing that,
you want to know what happened
right?
yesterday? Hold on.
I don't feel like I have to pull anything back.
Brenda, do you know what happened yesterday? Hold on, Brenda. Do you know what happened?
Hold on, Jeremy.
It was Victor Crute. It was Victor Crute.
Before you get into that,
Brenda,
Jeremy.
I can see why you get so mad about that, Brenda. But Dallas. Oh, actually, there's no fucking Dallas. That was fucked up, bro.
No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter though. Dallas David saying that is Dallas David saying that. That could have been said by a flat earther or a glober or anything like that. I think he said it is not indicative of something that
What did I say that was wrong? Is the nymphomaniac part of what I said was wrong?
Yeah.
This is the whole
transgender.
Why even bring it up at all? How does that help any argument?
It's just funny to me. But it tells me that I have the right to return in kind. I mean, so if you have the right to do that,
that's all you do, Brenda.
Then I'm just going to say
how you are. Quit acting like you're Miss Innocent over there.
Then I'm just going to say,
you're not Miss Innocent. We know how you are.
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, we know how I am, and I know how you are. You are a group of mentally ill people who are potentially violent and dangerous.
You're doing it again, though, Brenda. Like David is one person. He said one thing to you, and you're turning that into the whole of flat earth.
Could you name one flat earther?
Because one person made a death threat, Brenda. Now you're calling David dangerous.
Oh, it's not just one. Pete Shea, Arwen. Brenda. Right? They've all made death threats.
I agree with the murderers if one individual or three individuals in a group say, we need to go kill this other group, fire them. I understand with David. If he's coming at you and what you want to do and who your identity is, fire at him. But I don't, Jeremy is not deserving of any of the treatment.
I haven't said anything about Jeremy. I'm just talking
You
about
just
flat
categorized
earthers.
me with all these dangerous people. You said this is why these people are dangerous.
But to recap, that you are justifying why we're talking about their mental health and that kind of stuff. That was your
I think it's true. I think it's true. Can you name one
When
flat
you make
earther who you would think is mentally competent?
Jeremy's I'll elect myself over here, Brenda. We think you're the crazy one. How about that? What does that feel like? I think that everyone thinks that you're the crazy one. We got the crazy person telling us. We got. You know what? We feel like we got the crazy person telling us we're crazy. What do you think about that?
Hey, babe, you get your points and they're fine, but you got to remember that you have an echo, so it's like you got to limit how much you're doing it, right?
I'm cool with that. People are permitted.
Jeremy, he has a job, he has a family, he has a house, he's operating in reality.
People are
Jeremy's
permitted.
mentally stable for sure.
Yeah, and you've spent 4 hours, and you've spent 4 hours talking to him, trying to help him figure out how hallways work.
People spend
We have many examples of Brenda not being mentally stable.
That's true.
Brenda?
That's true. That's true. I have.
Okay,
that's
first
true.
of all-
I've gotten angry. Yes, that's true. Yes, you're right.
Okay, we have.
Hold on, David. Brenda and then Jeremy. Yeah. David, you're next after Jeremy, all right, David? Yeah.
I am of sound mind and body. Okay, we have, and there's.
How do hallways work, Jeremy?
Somebody has an open mic.
So Brenda, as long as you admit that you're crazy, it's okay to be crazy because we admitted that we're crazy. Okay, all right. We see how it works. So it's a two-way.
Brenda, you're after David. Hold on, Brenda.
It's a one-way street with you. We got it.
So Jeremy, how do hallways? How do hallways work? How does perspective work, Jeremy? Have you figured that out yet?
I had a sound and logical example I was giving for a hallway.
No, you didn't.
Stiggy
You didn't.
Brenda,
and then
you have to
Stiggy
start
came
taking
in.
turns, Brenda. Yeah.
Yeah, my hallway shit was tight and legit, and then Stiggy came in.
No,
Okay?
it wasn't.
So
It wasn't.
don't blame that on me. You came
nothing
in
you
late.
said.
I've already told you this.
Nothing you said
I
made
already
any
told
sense
you
at
this.
all. It was complete gibberish, Jeremy. You don't understand how a simple thing
you
like
came
a
in
hallway
late
works.
and
You don't understand it,
you
Jeremy.
came in late when Stiggy got involved. All right, it all went to hell.
You don't
after that.
understand it. You don't understand
All right.
it.
You got in late.
Brenda, come on. The whole conversation about hallways, we were having a laugh.
You came in late, and you heard the ass end of it, which got ridiculous. So,
We're having a laugh, Brenda.
Yeah.
It
So
wasn't reality.
how does perspective work then, Jeremy? How does perspective work? Do things?
Oh, we're not. I really don't want to.
Do things?
We literally just did like 2 hours.
Then
on it.
very simple. Do things disappear from the bottom up due to perspective?
That could play a factor. There's probably other things that play.
It couldn't. No, Jeremy. It can never happen. It can't happen. It never happens.
Well, due to perspective alone, maybe not. There's other factors at play. We're in the real world,
No,
right?
perspective has nothing to do with why things disappear from the bottom up. It never does. It never has, and it never will. And the fact that you can't understand that, right, is sufficient for me to say that there is something wrong with you. There's something wrong with your brain.
Because I don't understand his perspective. Something's wrong with me.
Yes, it is. Because perspective is a basic mammalian fact. And the fact that you can't understand it tells me there's something broken with your brain.
But the thing is,
nothing's broken with your brain.
Okay,
Okay, you want to go in on
the concept. Hold on, Jeremy. The thing is, that doesn't mean that he doesn't understand the concept. You take him, in different contexts and see based off the context of his answers if he gets the general phenomenon, whether or not he can put it into words. In general, stuff gets smaller the further away it gets away from you. But the thing that we're missing in reference to the horizon and the flat Earth debate is we think about objects like coins and balls and stuff like that, but we don't think about visual zones doing the same thing
no
with
such
a
thing.
6-foot zone above and below your eye level,
Lemon?
converging in a similar way at a horizon line. So the problem is we're not applying the principle to the problem in new ways. It's not that we don't understand it, it's how we're choosing to apply it to get a solution to the problem.
Lemon?
Brenda, we were having mad fun. Brenda, we were having mad fun before you came in, and you came in and made it personal.
I don't
said
care.
I'm mentally ill.
I don't care. I don't care.
I feel like it's not that fun anymore.
I don't care. I don't care.
You're ruining it for the YouTube stream.
I don't care.
You don't care about Jem's YouTube
Yes,
stream.
I don't care. Don't care. Lemon?
Hey, Brenda,
Jeremy.
we know. Hey, let me ask Brenda a question. Let me ask Brenda.
Don't care, David.
Hold on, let me ask a question.
Dallas, I don't care.
Brenda, hold on so David gets a chance to say something without the echo.
I just wanted to talk to...
Hey, Brenda, explain negative angle of view. Can you please explain that to us? We know you're a full-blown genius over here, but could you explain that in perspective for us?
Fucking hell, Dallas.
I don't know what that is. I just wanted to respond to Lemon.
You're the full-blown genius and don't know what the negative angle of view is.
No, I don't know what that is.
Well, you need to go back to school. You need to go open your school books up and go take a nap and come back when you know something. Or be quiet over there with your big head.
Okay,
Dave, that sounds interesting. What's the Hold on, Lemon. Dave, what's negative angle of view? I like how this sounds.
That's everything below your eye line.
All right.
No, that's not what it is. No, excuse me. Negative angle is an angle measured by rotating clockwise instead of counterclockwise.
No, it's what you can't see below your eye line. It's like when you look out, you have a negative angle of view because there's stuff in front of you blocking your view. That's why things disappear over the horizon, is because you have to be able to see, you can't see because of your negative angle of view. Wake up over there.
Okay, so negative angle of view is an angle that is below my horizontal angle view straight forward. Correct, David?
Eye level.
David, is that correct?
Low eye level.
Hey, let somebody else take over. Somebody Google
David,
negative angle of view.
I just want to get clear. I just want to get clear on what you're saying. What I understand you saying is that when you look straight out, perfectly level, you're saying negative level of view, angle of view is down from horizontal, and positive.
Here's how we do it. Ding, ding. Thank you very much.
Is that correct? Was I correct?
But he just said ding ding, Brenda. I think.
Yeah, it's over.
What does that mean?
Do you know what
does that mean?
Jeremy, do you know what the flat Earth
It means you need to go back to school about your perspective comments over there.
I just want an answer to the question. Negative angle of view means downward, a downward angle from straight forward.
You're not gonna
Ding,
get one.
that's it.
Yeah.
Brenda, you got ding ding.
Everything below your eye line in front of you. So if you have a road in front of you, you can only see so far because of the negative angle of view in front of you of the Earth's surface will block your vision after a certain distance.
That's
Thank
not
you very
true.
much.
That's not true. So what he's saying
Brenda,
is
let
that
him-
things
just let him
that
be
he's
finished.
done. He's done. So what he's saying
Allow
is
chronic.
that,
Yeah.
what he's saying is that the reason things disappear from the bottom up is because they're below eye level. This is literally what this
Obviously,
fucking moron, this
Brenda,
fucking
obviously,
moron just said.
Obviously, we know.
Right.
We know
And so-
this. You're
yes.
You're not exposing data.
Brenda,
to the
please
moron
stop
that
talking.
is.
Please, for a second, so other people can talk. Like, you can't talk at the same time.
Hey, Brenda doesn't like to get defeated like that.
No, it's fine, but it's Chronic's trying to say something, so just respond after or something.
What's up?
It was a dumb question.
What's up?
What's up, Brant? It was a stupid question to Jeremy if he knows what the flat Earth angle of attack is.
Is that the angle of incidence? Yeah, is that the angle of incidence?
I don't know. I think
it's the deck. You're on the ground, so you're on the deck, and then that's the angle of attack. I'm not sure, honestly.
The flat Earth angle
I have to
attack.
Google it. Why don't you just Google it real quick and then let me know.
tried.
No, he's referring to something that like Nathan Oakley and them say when they say flat, like angle of attack, they're talking about basically like forefronting, like this phenomena where you have the what's before you, the ground before you, kind of blocking your
angle of attack. Angle of attack is made up gibberish. It's made up gibberish.
Brenda, I asked Jeremy because I know that over 4 years ago, Jake, as a troll, planted this new term in the flat Earth community called flat Earth angle of attack, and it has propagated since then. I was just curious if
no, that was Nathan Oakley that came up with the term. I'm the one that came up with that bullshit definition. But
okay.
And also, the angle of attack is also for airplanes, obviously.
I know, but they're talking about
the angle of incidence is
flat Earth.
Angle of incidence.
Yeah. We're talking.
The angle of attack thing goes back to Robotham. They just misapplied an aviation term to his idea.
Right.
I was just asking.
Angle of attack.
Call it.
Yeah.
So angle of attack is
its origin is a troll of the flat Earth community. Basically, it's what I
think so.
I wanted to.
Yo, what did Robotham, the person that mentioned Robotham, what did he call it?
So I wanted to respond to Lemonbird from several minutes ago. Lemonbird was saying we need to research all this stuff, and I just want to remind you, Lemonbird, that I have you on record saying that things get bigger as we get closer to them.
In the context of a projection, Brenda. You
No,
can't have
that doesn't even happen. Even in that context,
you have a statement that is removed from the full content of its truth.
So
That was in the context of the moon being a projection, because, like at the movies, the image gets bigger the further away you get from the source of the projection. And so when you get closer and closer to the source of the projection, the image would get smaller. That's the context of the statement you're talking about. Please do not remove statements from the context that gives them full truth and full meaning, like leftist SJWs tend to do.
So you providing the full context.
Right about this.
So you providing the full context, Lemon, only makes it clearer how insane you are, how mentally ill you are.
Can't swap angular.
Brenda, show that you're not a daughter of the devil, and state propositional truth based off of what you're saying.
I filed.
What you're saying make any sense, Brenda? Let's see if you can state propositional truth without being a liar.
So I filed my horns down. And just like
You've been
other
trying
devils
to rile
do.
up the chat the whole time. State propositional truth and get out of the drama. Ain't nobody got time for this.
So you saying that things.
Real quick,
hold on.
Hold on, guys. Guys who are trying to respond who's not Brenda, you gotta remember that he did address Brenda. So.
Well, can someone just tell me who's the one that mentioned Robotham so I can message him?
Slacker, I think.
Slacker.
Anyway, whatever, Brenda. What were you saying about Robotham?
Slacker mentioned it, I think.
Yeah, just curious what Robotham called the angle of attack. Sorry, go ahead.
I didn't think Robotham used angle of attack, but he had the idea.
Yeah, but do you remember what terminology he used?
No, but it's basically what Lemon keeps saying, but with fewer words.
Yeah, like foreshortening.
Hey, can we get back to Lemon and Brenda fighting? That was funny.
So it's the angle that you are relative to your elevation above the surface. If you're low to the surface, you have very narrow angles and very few angles where you're able to make an image of the object that's far off, poking off of said surface. So you would need to get higher to get a higher angle of attack, a wider angle of attack to see the object and get wider angles beyond angular resolution.
Yeah.
So you're saying the surface that you're standing in front of isn't flat? There's like a slight incline?
This is in the context of it being a flat surface. If the surface is inclined, eventually it will block what's beyond phically. As in a straight line
that's
hit
not
the
true.
surface and go no further.
That's not true.
Angle of attack sounds like there's an angle of the floor. You're on the floor. Say the floor is flat, so you got your 180 degrees right there, and then that's your angle wherever you are compared to the ground. Would be
Jeremy,
the angle of attack, no?
Jeremy, don't try to understand it. It's gibberish. It makes no sense.
Brenda, don't try to
understand.
Slightly less terrible
Don't try to understand something.
This terrible argument back before cameras and other things that had larger apertures than the human eye. But since those are around, it doesn't work. It doesn't even look like it works at first glance.
Jeremy, don't try to understand something that was made up by a con artist. Nathan Oakley is a con artist.
Intrinsically,
it was made up.
Intrinsically, just does not
poisoning the well.
Make any logical.
No,
Well,
he's
Brenda,
a con artist. We know he is.
Originally, Big Bang was a derogatory term, but it stuck. It kind of had a ring to it. So it's like angle of attack.
If that, Jeremy, here's what Lemon is describing. If you are in if you're in a football stadium on the field, like at one, just say you're at one goal, one end of a football field, like in a stadium, and you set a penny on the ground at the other goal, you're obviously not going to see it. The angular resolution of your eye will not pick up that penny on the ground. But if you increase your angle of attack, if you climb up to the nosebleed seats as high up in that stadium as you can get, you're going to increase your angle or your wide angle of attack.
Exactly. It's because of your negative angle of view.
This is exactly like
Yeah, you're trying to reason with
exactly
people.
like a chessboard.
You're trying to reason with
This
people
is
who think
exactly
that
like-
things get bigger when you get closer to them.
This is exactly like my chessboard example of when you put your eye down to the chessboard, you can't make out the squares,
Yeah.
and then when you change your angle and you lift your eyeball up, you can start making out squares.
Do you remember what the refute to that was, Jeremy?
Hallways are
With the
confusing.
refute to that, is that not angle? We're just talking about, is that the angle of attack that you're talking about?
No.
You guys just demonstrated you guys see in 2D instead of a 3D spherical objects.
That's just
what about when you
just
talk
an
about
angle.
really long hallways, though?
That's not an angle
Like
of attack,
extremely long
Jeremy.
hallways. What is the angle of attack on very long hallways?
It's not an
Branch
angle of
it.
attack. It's just an angle. That's all it is. It's just an angle.
The worst time to try to input stuff like that, Branch, is when there's 5 people already talking over each other. It's hard enough to get some order.
So based off of this principle, find out what the angular resolution of, say 2 dots when they merge into one is, and then if you divide that in half, the distance between those 2 dots, theoretically that would be the height above the surface you would have to be before you see a horizon where the visual zone, which is equal to the space between those 2 dots, in the length of the visual zone up and down
That's
the
just
line.
Lemon, that was just gibberish. That was literally made no sense at all. Lemon.
But it's a how-to, Brenda.
No,
it's a how-to.
No, what you just said was completely incoherent and makes no sense at all.
It's a how-to.
I understood what Lemon was saying.
The thing you're looking with has the angular
I
resolution.
think Brenda just can't keep up.
That's why repetition is the sister of truth. Find out the distance at which 2 lines merge into one. Now, if you take those 2 dots, turn it 90 degrees so that the dots are up and down, that will be the distance when these 2 dots, or the visual zone equal to the distance between those 2 dots, will merge into a horizon line, giving you the distance between those 2 dots divided by 2, giving the distance above the flat surface where things will tend to merge into a horizon line beyond.
Yeah, that's angular resolution that has nothing to do with why things disappear.
That's it. Lemon nailed it. Lemon nailed it.
Yeah, he
It's the same
correctly.
application, Brenda. People have access to different pictures. Let's share this vision together. I need to draw models and stuff. It's not everybody has the same pictures. That's okay. But
Mackie offered to make a presentation on this so we could all understand it.
Angular
really
resolution.
good, Lemon. Like
I think
it was
we
kind of
could all-
confused in my head, Lemon, but when how you just explained it right there, like the way you expressed it, it made sense to me.
Yeah,
I think we should let Mackie. We should let Mackie make his presentation, and then we'll pick it apart piece by piece. What do you guys think?
So angular resolution has nothing to do with why things disappear from the bottom up. It's unrelated.
You don't think so? When you take those 2 dots that merge together, then turn it upside down by rotating it 90 degrees where the dots aren't left, right, but up, down, seeing them merge into, say, a horizon line? You don't think that principle is there?
Is a boat?
I think Lemon's got you on the dot merging thing.
No, is a boat?
Brenda. What about the 2 dots? What about the 2 dots, Brenda?
The bottom dot will
that
obviously
thing is
converge into the horizon first.
Angular resolution is about being able to distinguish 2 different objects at a certain distance.
Yeah,
You
like
can
2
no
dots.
longer do that. Is a boat one thing or is it 2 things?
It's
Well, the
made
boat
up
in the
of a
ground.
bunch
The
of
boat in the
different
ground.
source points.
No, is a
boat
boat
in the
one
ground.
thing or is it 2 things? Is it one thing or
made
2
up of a
things?
bunch of different things.
Divide it at your eye level.
It's either one thing or a boat is one thing or it's 2 things. One of those answers. Just one.
You can have 2 points on a boat.
No, a boat is one thing or it's 2 things. Which one?
One
You can have
dot
2
is the
points
boat.
on a boat.
Brenda, hold on. One
No.
dot is the boat, and the other dot is the ground.
No, the
Under
boat.
the boat.
The boat is one thing.
Composed of many
The boat
things.
is one dot, and the ground underneath it is the other dot.
Right. So angular resolution has nothing to
You have
do
the whole-
with it, then does
You have
it?
the bow.
2 dots, Brenda.
So angular
transom,
resolution
you
is
have the
about
stern.
is when you can no longer distinguish
Address the
one
Brenda,
thing
please address
from another
the 2
thing.
dots.
I did. I just did.
No.
Brenda, how many
We just
source
said the
points
boat is
of
one
light
dot.
does a boat have?
Brenda, we're messing with you, man.
A
Just
boat
chill out.
is one object. It's one thing.
But how many source points does that object have?
It's irrelevant. A dot
very
has
relevant.
a dot has infinite number of source points, the same as a boat.
Okay.
Listen, the boat is
That's
one
not true,
dot.
actually.
The boat, hold on. The boat is one dot, and the ground is the other dot. Now address the 2 dots, please.
The ground is not a dot.
It could be interpreted as a dot, sure. It's an object. The ground is one object.
Brenda, divide it at your eye level into a top and bottom half.
Right. So,
Very good.
Lemon
Two
got you
dots
on the
right
dots.
so angular resolution.
Anything can be a dot, Brenda. Anything can be a dot.
So angular resolution
ground's a
is
dot.
angular resolution is the distance at which any lens can no longer distinguish one thing from another.
But what is
thing.
a dot, though? But Brenda, what is the definition of a dot?
A
Yeah,
thing.
but what about the moon? That
mathematical
doesn't make sense for the moon because the moon is a light source, and we see the moon get cut off
it's
to
just
where
an-
it vanishes.
It's just an
It goes into a
object.
smaller and smaller point of light, and then it vanishes.
It's just an
Well,
object.
now we're in the presupposing how the sky works. Jake.
The object is just it's just an object in your field of view, and angular resolution is the distance at which you can no longer distinguish one object from another object, right?
It depends on how many dots. It depends on how many dots there are.
And
No,
the
that
top
doesn't.
dot is the top half of your vision, Brenda, and the bottom dot is the bottom half of your vision.
Yeah, that's
at the dividing line.
That's
of your
not
eye.
how angular resolution works. It doesn't matter.
exactly
whether,
how it works.
No, it doesn't. It's simply a function
Yes.
of distance and the resolving power of the lens. It's nothing else.
But
Brenda,
Brenda, the two
Brenda.
dots would merge along with everything between them. So that
Can
principle.
you explain angular resolution without dots?
Guys, everybody, please do your part to not evolve this into chaos. Nothingness.
This is
Okay.
This is
remain
okay.
pretty
not like
calm.
nothing.
Chaos, a
So
little order.
Angular
But the thing is,
resolution.
Brenda, the principle is there.
Angular resolution has nothing to do with why things disappear from the bottom up, because the
What about the dots?
Huh?
What about
Okay,
the
but
the gra-
Brenda, let's discover
Brenda.
why this mechanism
Hold
wouldn't
on.
work. You have two.
Hold on, let me explain why the dot thing works. Because let's say the ground is one dot and the ship is another dot, and you go away, they start to merge into each other. The top of the ground being the bottom dot, so the top of the bottom dot will merge into the bottom of the top dot.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. But that's
Yeah,
not
but-
what we
yeah,
see.
I know, because the
That's
dot
not-
we want on the dot thing.
Jeremy, that's not what we see when we see
Yeah.
objects disappear over the
We
horizon.
want on the dot. That's
Jeremy,
the dot.
Jeremy,
Ding ding.
Jeremy, when we
I
see
dinged
objects,
you.
Jeremy,
Over.
Jeremy, when we see
See that
objects,
being there.
Jeremy, when we see objects disappear over the horizon, we can still see the ship.
What about the dots?
No, we can see the ship.
You can
Okay.
see the bottom.
That one I just posted.
We can see the ship.
Hey, Jeremy, you see the ships go past? Hey, Jeremy, you see the ships go past your negative angle of view. That's all you see when they go over the horizon. They go past your negative
There's no
angle of
such
view.
thing as a negative angle of view, David. Sorry.
That's a good point, David. But Dave,
The Australians are awake.
We can see the ship and we can read.
Please.
We can read
always
letters.
awake.
We can read the lettering on the side of the ship.
It's fine, Brenda. Don't talk over people anymore because you're doing it habitually, and I'm in the middle of talking. The points that you just described, Jeremy, that when the two dots, the dot at the bottom and the dot right above it, and the dot that's on the horizon, when those become merged, any two dots become merged, it's going to become merged at the same rate as any other two dots on that ship or building or anything. So it's going to shrink at an even rate. So if they're indistinguishable at the top, the bottom, they're going to be indistinguishable at the top as well.
You understand what I'm saying? The top. Pretend that we have two dots. One's on the bottom, one's on the top. The top dot will represent the boat, and the bottom dot will represent the ground. Now, when these dots start to converge, merge, the top of the bottom dot will merge into the bottom of the top dot.
Sure, Jeremy.
Right?
Yes,
Okay.
I understand what you're trying to say, Jeremy, but I have a question about that. Why is it that I can still read the lettering on the dot?
There's no lettering on the
I'm
dot.
just explaining how something.
Yeah, there is.
It's a fucking
There
dot.
is. No.
Lettering on the dot.
No, the dot
I'm just
is the
explaining
ship.
how it could,
The dot is the
explaining
ship.
how it could disappear bottom up.
No, but it doesn't. I can still
There's
read.
no lettering on the dot.
Yes, the ship has lettering on
There's no
it.
lettering on the dot.
The ship has windows.
Can someone please shut Branch the fuck up?
The ship has windows.
Branch has been well behaved today. Sorry.
The
Go ahead,
ship
Brenda.
has Jeremy. The ship
Yeah, except when he interrupts fucking people's sentences.
So the ship has windows. It has lettering on the side. It has smokestacks. It has handrails. I can see all of those things. Why?
Brenda, can I make a dot disappear into another dot bottom up?
Yes.
The truth is, what you said is not correct. So just two dots, they don't disappear. They don't disappear into each other by merging, like from top to bottom. They when they're indistinguishable from being two separate objects, they're no longer two separate objects, and they're it's not because they are merging at some rate. They're merging at a definite, like when they merge completely. When two objects are no longer indistinguishable from one another, it's not like half the object is and the other half isn't. The whole object is going to be indistinguishable from the whole other object.
The two dots become one?
So you're saying these dots, it automatically happens. There's no in-between part where it looks like they're halfway into the other dot. You sure about that?
Yeah, if you have two bricks and they're each, and now they're no longer distinguishable separately, they're going to seem like one object, not
So
as
there's
two
no
objects merged together.
So there's no in-between point. This happens at some instantaneous second. I'm going to take one step back, and it'll just all of a sudden happen, and it won't merge slowly. I don't know. I think you could be wrong on this.
When you see the building and you see the bricks, and you move back, you move far way back.
It will be a gradual merging of the dots.
When you move back far away enough and you see bricks on a building, and you see the lines in the bricks, you move too far back that you can't see those lines anymore. All those lines now in different positions to where the two bricks are being merged together. Now there's a new set of lines. Is that what happens?
It'll be a gradual merging of the dots. They won't just be instantaneously. Like
Yeah,
two
I
dots
don't-
cannot.
Can I ask Jeremy? I have a
Good point,
I have a
Rach. Good
hypothetical.
point. What's up?
Jeremy,
What's
can
up,
I ask you a
Chronic?
question? I was just thinking. I don't know. I don't know really. I don't know the answer. Maybe you can help me out. What if like what if I took a large piece of like poster board, like a large, like 3 foot by 3 foot, like black poster board or something, and I drew, or just white colored poster board, whatever, and I drew two dots that were like, a foot spaced apart, by like a foot on this, horizontally away from each other. And I started like, running away from you. And I got to like, 500 feet or like, 250 feet away from you. I'm just thinking to myself, maybe you could help me. What should I? So like, if you were looking at that poster board that I was holding, your eyes would not be able to resolve those dots anymore, but your eyes would still be able to resolve the entire poster board that I'm holding. How come the poster board's not collapsing into itself?
Because you're holding.
I'm asking Jeremy.
I'm asking. Second of all, you have the dots.
A trap?
You have the dots on the thing that's not moving, and you're moving. The things are the dots in our scenario. Okay, you have these two dots that are stationary, right, on this board. The dots aren't moving.
Sure.
Okay, and the analogy we're using with the dots, the boat is moving. The boat is one dot, and the ground is the other dot. And the boat is moving. So in your analogy, like
the boat dot is moving away. It's moving away.
Yeah.
No, I'm not making a perfect. Sure, you can say it's not. You can say it's not an exact perfect whatever analogy if you want. I was just hypothetically thinking and was curious what.
I actually tried this
how
a
you
few
would
weeks
interpret
ago. I tried this a few weeks ago in my yard. It didn't work well. I forget what happened.
The exact thing that I just asked about.
Honestly, dude, you're gonna be a dude standing in the background with a fucking board in your hand. That's it.
I took my whiteboard outside. This was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I can't remember. It was this summer. Yeah, but the dots. So I put 2 dots on the board, and then I walked away. And
you did this exact experiment I asked you about already.
They didn't. Yeah, the dots.
So you could still see both of the dots with your eye.
If you had a P900 camera, you could zoom in and see the dots.
Come on, Branch. Let me get this conversation off real quick with Jeremy. So you could still see him in your backyard. Well, is your backyard
trying to redeem himself? Chronic's trying to redeem himself.
I just have a hypothetical. That's all.
Oh, that's all.
Okay.
I got one of my doubles
in
a hypothetical.
Jeremy, let's just finish the conversation at hand. So yeah.
So I took the board out. I got this board in my yard, right? I drew 2 dots on it. And then I started walking away, and the dots didn't merge. They didn't merge. It just got to a point where I just couldn't see them. I think. Exactly. I don't know. This was a while ago. I think it just came to a point to where I just couldn't see them. I mean, these were little tiny dots.
Resolve them.
These were like smaller than a penny.
Interesting.
But the same principle is there. If the dots are merging,
another flat earther coming in to save Jeremy. Lemon. All right, I'm gonna go eat. I'll catch you guys in a bit. I'm gonna go eat some.
What you're saying still has the same mechanism in that if the dots are merging left, right, they would merge up, down also. So a zone up and down from your eye level equal in length to the distance between those dots would be expected to merge also at eye level toward eye level based off of this principle.
Lemon? So the example that Nathan gives is that of a brick wall. And so the diffraction resolution limit is the point at which a brick wall in the distance, you can no longer distinguish one brick from another brick. Right? Are we together on this?
We sure are.
Yeah. That is not what happens when things disappear from the bottom up. From the bottom up, when things disappear from the bottom
hand
up...
wave dismissal.
When things disappear from the bottom up, we can still see the individual bricks. We just can't see the lower half of the brick wall. The ship disappears over the horizon. You can still see the windows on the ship. You can read the lettering on the ship and the handrails and the smokestacks. You can see all of that. You just can't see the bottom of it.
Jeremy, can you see the pictures I just posted?
I'm at work. I think I'm far behind. I tried doing my classrooms in a different order. I don't know what's going on. I can't really look at text right now.
Right. So
we need to get back to work. You can do that, man.
So diffraction resolution limit has nothing to do.
Can someone please describe the picture to Jeremy?
Let me clarify. That's Brenda 1, flat Earth 0.
Well, the thing that we're also talking about, Brenda, is the difference between what is interpreted on the optic versus the 2D image that is shown and rendered by the camera in the brain.
No.
So
That has nothing to do with
the
that.
sensor first at a wide enough angle, then it can be interpreted as a 2D image.
That's wrong.
This is why this stuff is so complicated between perception, conception, and how we sense light, how we form images with light, how the camera is forming the image with the light. The main thing is, number one, the light is getting too crowded on the optic relative to eye level. Number one, when that happens, no 2D image, just a line. Then the 2D image is rendered, and then we're too late in the process, and that we are analyzing angular resolution for the 2D image rendered on the second step. So we need to go to the first step.
Exactly, Lemon.
Light is too crowded on the optic.
Lemon,
Again, Lemon is on fire today.
Lemon, that was well said, and this is why we hold on, Brenda. Lemon, that was well said, and this is why we need some tangible measurement here.
That was gibberish.
You know,
that was literal.
There was nothing tangible about
gibberish.
what Lemon said.
No, I said we need a tangible measurement because this is why this optic.
Well, then what Lemon said wasn't good enough, was it?
We're just in perspective. We haven't gotten a refraction or any other atmospheric effects that might be taking place.
So Jeremy, or Lemon, Jeremy can't see it, I suppose, but Lemon, you possibly can see the ship that Quantum Erased posted, right? You can see that ship.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Can you see the windows? Can you see the windows on the ship?
Hell no.
What do you mean you can't see the windows on the ship?
Try opening
Oh shoot, I'm seeing Rakia Quantum Erases boat may be flying. Wrong one. What's the timestamp? Oh, here we go. Quantum Erase at 6:46. Let's see.
Can
I
you
can
see the windows?
Yes, initially.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. When I can no longer see the windows, that's the diffraction resolution limit, right?
For the window.
For the ship.
Yeah, but what about
for the
relative to
window?
eye level
Stop.
up
For the
and
ship.
down, Brenda? What
For the
about
ship.
The window is smaller than the ship, Jeremy. Did you know that?
But relative to your
For the
eye
ship.
level, you have a very narrow angle, Brenda. That's
Right.
what we need to talk
So,
about.
so why
It's the
is
same
it?
angle.
So why, if diffraction resolution limit is responsible for things disappearing from the bottom up, why in this picture of the ship can I still see the windows when I can't see half of the ship?
More importantly, you can see the front mast. You can see the front aerial, like the front radio mast. Still, yeah, you still can't see the middle of it. You can see the front and back bits of it, but you can't see the middle. What's going on there?
You can still see it because it's a wider angle. Brenda, go to a wall.
No, it's further away.
In your room. This will illustrate the phenomena of the angles relative to your eye level.
So the radio master is a wider angle than the ship itself?
Up from eye level, yes. Brenda, go to the wall. Hold out your hand to the wall.
Also, consider this. If you look at the water level in this picture, why is the water level rising?
The waves. Brenda, take your hand. Hold it straight out in front of you. So we can illustrate this phenomena of angles relative to your eye level. Your hand, fingertips out to the wall, just touching the wall is your eye level. Raise it up above you. Notice how it's no longer touching the wall, number one, and two, you have a wider angle for the same area. So relative to your eye level, things compress very quickly at eye level, but get a wider angle as you go up and down from your eye level. That's the important thing here for the horizon line.
That's funny because it actually looks like part of it disappears, the bit with the crossbeam on it.
Yeah.
But you can still see the straight up. You can still see the mast sticking
Water
straight
level's
up. Front and
rising.
back. How come?
Water level is obviously
like you can see the front part and the rear part of the ship, but you can't see the middle of it. It's weird how, perspective decides which parts of the ship you're going to see.
Right, and if you look at the water level rising, obviously,
one that's further away, one that's closer, but you can't see the stuff in the middle.
Of water, that's it.
Yeah, the
But
water,
thing is,
Lemon, the curvature of the Earth is what obstructs objects in the distance from the bottom up.
we're not seeing that with lasers and infrared. Light is still reaching the
No,
center.
you're seeing it with a boat.
Thousands of miles away.
Right, but in this case, with this ship, it is the curvature of the Earth that is obstructing it from the bottom up. That's why we can see that tall fin, and we can't see the boat. We can see the stripe on the tall fin, and we can't see the boat.
You still haven't answered though, Brenda. Why is the water level rising with every shot?
Because of waves. Sometimes you can get several foot waves over a flat plane. But Brenda, the main thing is the top and bottom half of your vision are converging into a smush line. And anything that's taller than those convergence zones that are giving you that horizon just has to set into your horizon.
Yeah, that's just literal gibberish. It has nothing to do with any kind of thing that anybody understands at all, Lemon.
Give it time.
No,
There's
Lemon,
a lot of
Lemon,
reasons why that.
it literally doesn't make sense. There's no amount of time that will make gibberish make sense.
We're going to get through this, Brenda. 500 years of geocentric Jesuit indoctrination takes time to break.
Well, Brenda, hopefully we'll get through this today. I hope so too.
So Lemon, what you could do then is write down your thoughts in the form of a mathematical formula, which is what people can do. People can do for perspective. You know, it's 2 arctan, blah blah blah. You can do so. If you have a different theory, write it down and test it.
That's math. That's above my pay grade. Life is Short already went over this on his videos anyway.
Yeah, Life is Short did an excellent presentation on Jeranism. It was like 3 hours long. You guys would know all this stuff if you just watched that video.
Watch it.
That's what I don't get confused by hallways, Jeremy. So I don't.
I am not, Brenda. You came in late to the conversation.
Well, Brenda, you are being confused by this little picture that Conor Race fucking posted. You're being very confused by it.
I'm not confused by hallways, okay? Stop. I wish you would
He's
stop
very
saying that. Or
confused.
I'm going to start saying mean things
that,
to you.
You think that
He's
they go down?
bi-curious.
Do you want me to say,
Hallways.
Brenda? Do you want
You
me to
think
say
they
mean
go
things
down?
to you? I don't
Jeremy,
want to.
be nice. Be nice, Jeremy.
I know. I want to be nice. Brenda has already said I was mentally
I've
ill,
already
and now
been-
she's saying I don't understand hallways.
I've been. Yeah,
Brenda,
I don't think
be
you
nice.
came into
I will
a silly
I will
conversation.
slap the living dog shit out of the two of you. Be nice.
Please.
Well, hold on a second.
I want to be
Why,
nice.
why doesn't Jeremy understand hallways?
Because
All right, Jeremy,
Brenda
explain
came in
hallways
late.
again.
Because Brenda came in late to the conversation after Stiggy got here, and we took it down a roller coaster of nonsense with Stiggy. That's why.
Yeah, Brenda, can you explain hallways to Jeremy, please?
Always means all of the time in all possible configurations.
No, hallways. He said hallways.
Oh, he said hallways? Hallways are flat. It's just that the end of the hallway is far away.
Okay, hallways don't have to be flat. I have already debunked you on that. We can have a ramp hallway.
A ramp.
You don't understand hallways.
Jeremy?
You don't understand hallways, Brenda.
Jeremy, a ramp can be flat. A ramp can be flat. Do you understand that?
You guys rhyming
Handle the
everything.
hallway.
A ramp can be
It could
flat.
We could have a curved ramp. We
Ramps-
can have a curved ramp in a hallway, not flat. You're wrong, debunk.
Jeremy?
Beat it, you don't understand hallways.
Jeremy,
You don't understand hallways, clearly.
Ramps,
Ding, ding.
ramps are
Ding,
flat.
ding. Ding,
Jer-
ding.
Ramps are flat.
Honestly, out of anyone in this room, Jeremy probably understands hallways better than most people in this room.
Hey Jeremy, Darkseid posted a picture of a hallway. How come I can see the light in the door at the end of that hallway on
Dude,
top of
I
it
can't be
and the bottom
explaining
of the
other
door?
people's photo. I don't explain other people's photographs. Why don't you explain it to me?
Well, I can see both the top and bottom of that door.
Okay. Would you want a cookie or what?
No, I want an explanation as to why I can still see the front and back ends of that boat, but not the middle. One that makes sense.
So relative to your eye level,
No.
inlet objects.
No, I didn't ask you, Lemon. No, I wasn't talking to you, Lemon.
Roboting, for God's sake.
No, I wasn't talking to you.
He was roboting.
You offer nothing but gibberish. I don't listen to
He
you
is
anymore.
roboting, man. It's okay for Lemon to speak, man.
So let me know when I can make a valid point without you just trying to frustrate.
Make a valid point. Make a valid point, and then we'll start listening to you. Hey.
Go ahead, Lemon. Go ahead.
Speak some actual English. Say something that makes sense, and then we'll listen to you.
He's trying to. If you would stop
notorious for breaking angular resolution rules. They can be seen much longer than they can be when they're not lit. A candle that is not lit has disappeared long ago. Light it up, you can see it for like a mile. This is already known.
Still gibberish.
Lit objects are seen longer than they would with angular resolution rules.
It's Dr. Dick Stumperman. Do you understand that we're talking about flat Earth today, right? It doesn't have to be so serious, bro. Just chill out.
Yeah, you tell him, Branch.
Right. So according to this bizarre theory of perspective that flat earthers have, the hallway posted by Darkseed should be disappearing from the bottom up. That distant end of the hallway should disappear from the bottom up, but it's not.
Is the hallway flat or is it curved, Brenda?
It's flat.
Oh, because I was making sure it wasn't a curved hallway. Hallways aren't always flat. Just checking.
Now, when Lemon looks at this hallway with the exit sign, he thinks that it's going up, that the floor is going up, but it's not. The floor is flat and level.
The floor, I can't see the picture, but I'm guessing the floor appears that it's ramping up.
Yes, but appearances aren't always reality, are they?
I advocate for that fully, 100%.
Right. However, in this case, we can see the end of the hallway from the floor to the ceiling. But flat Earth perspective predicts that we should that the distant end of the hallway should be partially obstructed, and it's not.
How long is the hallway? Well, how long is the hallway?
And how tall is the ceiling? The ceiling would set if it was taller than the eye level of the observer.
Yeah, I want to know how.
I want
to know how long.
The eye level of the observer. So if you're 6 foot tall, Brenda, you have a symmetrical zone 6 foot up and down from eye line level that will set evenly into a line. That symmetrical zone will set evenly. Anything that's taller than 6 plus 6, 12 will set.
Yeah,
I want to know how tall the ceiling is, how long the hallway is, and how low the floor is.
Well, I don't know. I suppose I don't know what the typical height of a hallway in what looks like to me like a hotel. It's probably
10,
about
12.
10, 12, maybe.
It doesn't matter.
8.
10, 12.
Yeah.
It doesn't
10,
matter
12.
the height. The ceiling never crosses the floor. The ceiling never crosses your fucking eye line. The floor will never rise above your eye line. Your eye line doesn't convert. Your eye line.
We've been going on about this.
Well, it's time you guys fucking. I'm sick of fucking hearing about this. You guys are absolutely fucking honestly retarded. Quit with your lives. Why are we even bickering with these retards about this shit?
That's kind of how I feel. That's kind of how I feel lately. I kind of feel the same way lately, and I've been pretty mean, but I don't care anymore because these people are out of their minds.
But you've been doing most of the arguing.
The thing is,
tilt your head down and the floor rises to your eye line.
Brenda, you say the people here are out of their fucking minds, right? You spend every day debating them. What the fuck does that make you?
Insane in the membrane.
I'm changing.
Insane in the brain. He's getting paid. But the thing is, the horizon rises toward eye level, it appears, based off of the hallway.
Here he goes. Kurt, you're just being paid by Big Hallway. They're paying you how much?
God damn it, do I have to start issuing more checks?
Game's back on later.
I'm going broke.
So to explain why I come here is because I improve my debating skills by practicing this way, and I've been doing more debates with different groups of people, political and religious debates. I feel that
people lower than you, Brenda.
If I was going to try to hold on. If I was
I feel that
if I was going to try to get better at basketball,
I feel like you should stop repeating yourself. Jesus.
I want to just complete my sentence. I just want to complete my sentence. I just want to complete my sentence. I feel that I have learned a lot from flat earthers because I've had to research the subjects and I've had to learn how to control my emotions, which I did not do. And that has helped me in other debates, especially when I talk to Nazis. I debate Nazis at times, and it helps me considerably.
Yeah.
Yes.
These people in here are Nazis, I know.
No, not these people.
Me and Jen have experienced them
not
all.
these people. Not these people.
Yeah, you really got to bring your A game if you're debating Nazis.
No, I've talked to.
Guys, don't be such sticks. Just be normal.
I've talked to real life ethno nationalists and real life Marxist Leninist communists. Yes, and it helps me to keep my cool because I've learned valuable lessons from talking to flat earthers. Yes.
And I don't.
Right. I personally think, Brenda, that whenever there's a flat Earth debate,
those aren't debates.
There be a certain level of humor.
Don't worry, debating.
We are talking about fucking
I
flat
want
Earth.
to point out is none of the globers have suggested something like a re-education center like GCBR did. Or anything like that.
Someone's already talking, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it was only branch, so it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if it's only.
You don't overtalk branch, bro.
Right the hand or
whatever.
whatever.
Overtalk branch.
Oh, maybe if Branch didn't, make it so that he had to be I could hear him. But if he didn't, act like such a twat, he wouldn't be turned down a one.
Honestly, I feel like Branch asked like
afterwards, y'all. Like, come on, there's someone talking.
Who's talking?
Okay, Mr. Dick Stomper wants to have a full-blown flat Earth debate.
It's only Branch, so it doesn't matter.
Branch never says
it does matter. He is right. It does matter.
Try to allow a person 1 or 2 decent points before cutting in.
Let's see Mr. Dick Stomper have a full-blown flat Earth debate with someone. Come on. I want to hear Mr. Dick Stomper have a fucking debate.
Okay, so that point has been made. Dr. Dick Stomper, were you saying anything?